Welcome back to EASD TV. Now, the EASD has a life far beyond these conference halls, and one of the most important areas, especially now, is in policy. And today we're going to talk about the European Diabetes Forum. And with me, I have, to talk about it, Bart, Torbeyns, who is the Managing Director of the European Diabetes Forum, Chantal, Mathieu, hardly known to you, President, of course, of the EASD and Vice President, that's right, of the Forum, and the legend that is Stefano del Prato, former President of EASD and President of the European Diabetes Forum. There's a lot of presidents going on there. Why was this set up? And was this set up in your day? I think it was, Stefano.
The EUDF, the European Diabetes Forum, was set up according to a sort of a general philosophy. And the general philosophy was to try to really link whatever the science in diabetes is bringing up and the political agenda to really favor and to foster what is the impact and the implementation of these novelties in the field of diabetes to help people with diabetes. So the idea was that, first of all, what was needed was just a united voice. So it was not just the EASD of the European the European Foundation for the Study of Diabetes, but try to bring in all the other stakeholders in the field of diabetes: IDF, JDRF, the Nurse of Diabetes Federation, the primary care physician with an interest in diabetes, the Société Francophone du Diabète, HISPAD, and so on and so forth. So what was important is really to generate one voice, or an aligned voice, an harmonized voice, to really highlight what is the current need for people of diabetes across Europe. That was the general idea behind it.
And Chantal, one of the things I know that you're most passionate about is increasing access. And actually that's a political act very often. I mean, for all that we have in these halls, these extraordinary new developments, they mean nothing if people can't actually get hold of them. And that is a political decision.
Absolutely. And so European Forum, as Stefano said, brings together different societies, but we also have associate partners in FPA, so the European Federation for Pharmaceutical Industry, and also MedTech, so the technical industry, because we are strong believers that they also need to be aligned in the messages we bring to politicians. And we should be very open, we should be candid, but very open in how we can improve access to care, access to tools. And that is how we, together with all of the associations, together with also these associated partners, want to influence policy makers and eventually our national healthcare systems.
So Bart, you're the person who's tasked with the day-to-day implementation in the forum. What are your main areas of interest at the moment?
Well, we have worked since the beginning on data registries, on integrated care, on digitalization, and as of this year we also put more emphasis on early detection and screening. I want to highlight that this is both for type 1, type 2, and actually all types of diabetes. And so that is the most recent work we are doing. And on top of that, of course, we have like the EU elections next year. And we just prepared a pledge to visit politicians to do activities. So that will be the main activity for the next months until the elections in June.
Because in some cases, it's really a never-ending task, isn't it? Because every new intake of politicians and policymakers, you need to educate them about the problems that people living with diabetes face.
Yeah, absolutely. It's expected that in the parliament, more than half of the parliamentarians will be replaced, renewed. So yeah, let's see what happens. But there is really a need indeed to educate the new generation and continue with the other ones.
And are you beginning to have success with this?
Yes, I'm a bit biased to answer that question, but I would dare to say yes, because we see now that we are an official partner, for instance, on WHO Europe. We are also invited in big joint actions at European level, so I think it really shows that we are now how can I say, appreciated as a partner in all of these projects. Yeah.
So Stefano and Chantal, you've been the midwives for this project. Is it playing out? Is it delivering the kind of things that you had hoped for it? Let's Stefano first.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have accomplished a number of achievements so far. EUDF is becoming a consultant to WHO. We're having a number of initiatives and events in the European Parliament. We have been working together with the cardiologists for a screening on cardiovascular disease and diabetes as a risk factor for cardiovascular disease. In the Parliament, we had another event, to support and to call for more attention to research in the field of type 1 diabetes with the JDRF. We have been a part of a large program that involving 21 countries in Europe for a big project with a lot of funds from the European community, and we have been part of the consultancy for that. We are a partner for Identify for the screening of type 1 diabetes. So I think there are a number of things, but there's more. Now, as Bart mentioned, we had the three initial pillars: the digitalization, the registry, and the integrated care. Digitalization means a lot of new technology, and I think there is a lot of discussion around about the role of artificial intelligence in the field of diabetes. So we have started now an initiative to try to get a document that maybe is going to trigger more discussion on this specific field. So sometimes I look at the EUDF as a sort of a catalyst for what is a new potential venues for a better management of diabetes across Europe.
So horizon screening, seeing what's coming up ahead and preparing the policymakers is also a very important part of this work.
Absolutely. And, I was very surprised when we started with the forum 4 years ago about how loud harmonized voices are. As EASD, I thought if we knock on a door of a politician, they would open the door. Turned out our knock was, not very loud. Bringing together all stakeholders gives you a loud knock on the door, and all of a sudden, all kinds of doors start opening. And so that's what EASD clearly wants to continue doing, joining up with all these other stakeholders to really, determine the agenda, put diabetes there, bring it to the forefront, because in the end, that's what all the partners are interested in, namely improving lives of people living with diabetes from different angles. Industry has their own agenda. EASD, EFSD want also to push research, for instance. IDF Europe wants to bring the voice of people living with diabetes. Everybody has their angle, but in the end, we all have the same goal, and that's to put diabetes on the agenda. And yes, that's what EASD, EFSD want to continue doing, supporting the EUDF as the policy voice for us, but also for all the other associations, because it turned out to be very successful.
It's fantastic stuff. More power to your elbow, as we would say in the UK. Thank you so much. Well, a really important aspect of EASD work there. And we're going to have much more on EASD TV today. So we'll be talking to you later. Bye for now.